Welcome to the Echo Tips podcast.
Eureka!
Here's a sneak peek into what we're going to cover in this week's episode of the Echo Tips podcast.
You'd like to remove all items from your shopping list, right?
Yes.
Done.
I don't know why she's whispering again. Well, hello, and welcome to the Echo Tips podcast. It's good to have you all with us this week. And this week, we're going to be dusting off an oldie but a goodie that has a number of revisions. That is lists. That's right, to-do list, shopping list, and custom list. That could be a gardening list. It could be a New Year's resolution list. It could be all sorts of different types of lists that you can create. So the lists have really matured over the years, and there's some new features in there that I was completely unaware of. So I thought I'd bring those points to you today, guys. Also, just kind of as an extra note here, there's going to be some changes happening with the podcast. First of the year, this is going to become due to the New Vision program at Goodwill having been the core sponsor, connected with other grants and the relationships, this podcast over the past 7 seasons. We're really going to be transitioning to a different kind of, it's going to take on new ownership. It's going to be a personal property of yours truly. And so that may mean that we may change some jingles, change some cover art, and we'd love to hear some of your all's feedback about that, especially long-time listeners as well. Okay, so first off, for our new listeners who are wondering what I'm talking about and what the show is all about, as I mentioned, we've been on for 7 seasons. We're a weekly podcast. I'm the host. My name is David Ward. I'm an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program at Goodwill. And really, what our show deals with, and we'll be continuing to deal with in 2025 under new ownership, is going to be dealing with all things Amazon Echo. So that could be from home automation to games to applications for seniors, caregivers, those with disabilities, accessibility features built in. It could be for parents. It could be for young ones, like Amazon Kids Plus, and all sorts of different other types of scenarios. And we're really looking forward to hopefully seeing AI goodness roll out in 2025 and maybe see how that can make our A-ladies all the smarter. But as I mentioned today, our core topic is going to be dealing with lists of different types and what category that's found in the app, how that has kind of changed and molded over time, and new features that I was completely unaware of that are slowly being trickled into that and added into that. But before I delve into that in any sort of detail, I'm going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then as always, we will be right back.
This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a non-profit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. And we thank you for listening. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision.
Well, hello again, and welcome back to the show. As I mentioned, we're going to be talking all about lists this week and the different types of applications for those for you. In the early days, it was very primitive. But we're going to talk about some of the new advancements in this feature set. Now, I will mention, too, that I said that there'll be some changes in the podcast. Maybe we'll look at changing some of the jingles. The ownership of the podcast is changing into my personal hands, and maybe look at the cover art. And so I'd love to hear some feedback from y'all about that. And so we'll mention some ways you can reach out to us here at the show. about some of your thoughts or suggestions. We'd love to hear your feedback or just your general input in general or things you'd like to see us cover. Okay, so let's delve right into this list. So this topic is kind of brought to you in a way by my baby sister who asked about the list feature this very day. And I was like, I haven't really looked at it in a while. And how does it work again? And so this is a very powerful tool. And for some of you out there in the community, maybe in your business environment, maybe it could be something as simple as you and your spouse shopping for groceries. I know lists have been historically a very powerful thing that you can share and add and delete things off the list. Or no, we bought the milk, at the gas station last night just so we could have our Cheerios this morning. So we can take that off the main shopping list that we would usually do this weekend. So there's a lot of versatility that could come to that. Now, as I mentioned, in the early days, you couldn't do a lot. You pretty much had I think 2 lists, to be honest. I think you had shopping list and a to-do list, and they pretty much function the same way. You couldn't even really delete anything or clear anything off of them. You could only add something to them. It was actually pretty challenging. But even then, I kind of recommended it to some students who wanted to record phone numbers or different things, and the ability for them maybe to share have another family member log into their account so they could, be at the grocery store and see what was on the shopping list. So, different ways you could use it. It's actually got a lot more mature than that since then. And so I'm excited to share some of those things with you today. Now, I'm going to start doing some demos here before I discuss the thing in general, that is lists. So if you have an Amazon Echo in hearing distance of me, I will be using the A-Lady name, that is Alexa, and you may want to shut the ears of your Echoes off because those suckers can hear you all the way across the house, can't they? Okay, so hopefully everybody's had a chance to do that, and we got ours here in the studio. So here's a simple command. If you want to figure out what your current list status is, you could say, Alexa, what list do I have?
You have 3 lists: shopping list, to-do list, and job hunting.
Why she whispered that, I have no idea. Okay, it's a quirk I see every once in a while. She'll think I'm whispering to her. Anyway, so there you go. There's the list. Now, you can create a new list. So I could say, Alexa, create a gardening list.
Create a list called gardening, right?
Yes.
I've created gardening list.
Uh-huh.
What would you like to add to it?
Shovel, mulch, flowers, plant feed. Oh, somehow she kicked out of that. But that's generally the way you would create a new list. And you can always come back and say, let's try it. Alexa, add tomato plants to gardening list.
Tomato plants added to gardening.
Okay, so if it was the springtime and we were planting a garden and stuff, that's how you would do that. And of course, you can query a list very easily. You can just say, hey, what's on my whatever list? Alexa, what's on my shopping list?
You have 3 items on your shopping list: pizza crust, pizza sauce, and feta cheese.
Okay, so there you go. Very simple. Now you can add things to your list, as you saw me do earlier with the gardening list, but you can also delete, or I should say mark items as done. Just like you would scratch through an item on a list, you can do that as well. So I could say, Alexa, mark pizza sauce off shopping list.
I've checked off pizza sauce from your shopping list.
Okay, so now it's checked off, and if I say, Alexa, what's on my shopping list?
You have 2 items on your shopping list:
2.
Pizza crust and feta cheese.
Okay. Now, even more importantly than that, now those features weren't here in the early days. Even more important than that, you can actually clear the entire list. Alexa, clear shopping list.
You'd like to remove all items from your shopping list, right?
Yes.
Done.
I don't know why she's whispering again. Maybe I got the acoustics all screwed up in here or something. Anyway, so that's bizarre. But anyway, so that's a super way you can clear a list. You can create a list. And I believe you can even delete a list. Although when I originally tried this, it didn't work. But let's give it another try because the second time I tried it, it did work. So we did just create a gardening list. That's a good one to play with. Alexa, Delete gardening list.
Your gardening list has one item on it. Are you sure you want to delete it?
Yes.
Okay, gardening list deleted.
Okay, so it's just that easy. Now, you can usually say something like I said tomatoes to shopping list. I think you can also do it this way. I have another list we haven't played with yet called my job hunting list. So let's try that. Alexa, add to my job list.
What would you like to add to job hunting?
Hamburger cooker.
Hamburger cooker added to job hunting.
All right, so, French fry chef, whatever, hamburger, whatever, it's a griller. So anyway, so that's that simple, and you can go back in and mark those things off. You can add things. So there's two different ways you can add. You can say yada yada, add tomatoes to shopping list. Also, alternatively, if you want to simplify it, you could just say add to my shopping list. In fact, let's try that again, just to repeat this again. Alexa, add an item to my shopping list.
What can I add for you?
Eggs.
I've added eggs to your shopping list.
Okay, so
what else?
Stop. Okay, so you have a little bit of versatility there in the way you add it. Now, my sister did have some difficulties with the list. Now, I would say make sure that your list nomenclature don't collide with other things, like not have a shopping list 1, shopping list 2, shopping list 3. I would say try to avoid names that could accidentally be conflicting. I would also say shoot towards something simpler. Now, interestingly enough, my list is technically listed. One of them is listed as job hunting, right? But I could just say add to my job list, and it knows enough to know it must be the job hunting list. But if I had multiple things listed in there with the name job, like job hunting, job seeking, job whatever, that may get her confused, I think, is potentially possible. Okay, so this will step us over into the other aspect that I want to mention, which is where you can make these customizations and you can visually peruse the list. And get additional features that you may not ever have. For example, here's a good one. Maybe I want to share my shopping list with a spouse, right? So let's try that. Alexa, share my shopping list.
To view or share your shopping list, please use the Alexa app.
Okay. So there's going to be certain features that we're only going to find. Let's try one more. Let's see, what could I do? Alexa, archive job hunting list.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Okay, so I can't archive, but I can delete. So that's interesting. Okay, so now the two default lists that everybody should have just out of the gate, I'm not too sure you can delete these or not, is shopping list and to-do list. Then after that, you can create additional lists. Now you saw how I did that earlier with gardening, just create a new list. But in the app, you can find all of these features and more. So what you would do, let me shut her ears off so I don't trigger my echo here, because I'm going to start saying her name. Oh, that's the wrong button. Okay. Okay, so what we would do is open up the Alexa app on our phone or tablet, and we would go to the bottom tab labeled as More. That has a couple little lines on it, and you would tap on it, and that will open up a slide-out menu, and in the left-hand column, at least on my app, about the second item down, it says Lists and Notes. Now, notes are a different kettle of fish. We're not going to talk about those today. Those are actually pretty wild what those are capable of doing. It's almost like a personal database or way of offloading your brain. We'll talk about that maybe at another time, and we have talked about it in past episodes as well. But what you want to do is you tap on the list and notes, and then in the list category, you're going to find all these lists that we've already talked about. So in mine, you would find shopping list, to-do list, and then there's a separate category of created lists, and I would have job hunting list. Or if I had still left gardening on there, I would have gardening. Now from there, I can go into each one of those lists and I can delete the entire list. I can archive the entire list. So in case maybe it's something I don't want to be active, I can kind of like come back to it at a future time. Maybe something I do every spring, like planting a garden or something. And I can go in there and I can look. Now, most interestingly, for example, the shopping list where you can mark items off, like I marked off, what was it, pizza sauce or something. You can go in and see the items that have not been marked off on your shopping list. And then at the bottom, it has a separate heading. It says things you've already marked off as being done. So that's kind of handy. It's kind of a nice way to keep a tally of things that maybe you've done or haven't done yet. And that's kind of really handy. Another neat feature is once you've entered the list, in the top right-hand corner, you have a share button. That's right, a share button. And I would imagine if people knew about this feature, this might torpedo a number of other apps out there that have done nothing but this. Like I think, what was one of the apps that was real popular on iPhones for a long time? Something like Save the Milk or Get the Milk or something like that. Anyway, this has the ability for you to share your list in an active way with another family member. So if you tap that menu item, it'll slide up a menu from the bottom, and you can share the shopping list or whatever list it is with another family member, and they can actively peruse it, add items to it, mark things as done. And so that's super handy. I mean, you guys could literally be walking through different ends of the grocery store and, filling up the cart and marking things off as you go. So you rendezvous in the middle. So, I mean, it's pretty wild, the ability to do that. Another neat feature they have in there, which I was surprised to see, was the ability just to share a blanket one-time copy of the list. Almost like an email or something. I didn't dig into it to see the different ways in which you could send it out. But that's kind of like they don't have access to your list, but they may have like just a copy of what it was at this snapshot in time. So that may be for some, maybe you don't want people to accidentally mess up your current list. Maybe it could be a really elaborate list of things you're doing at work or things you need to buy for the company or something like that. You don't want maybe anybody to just go in there and accidentally, mark it all as done or something, or accidentally delete the list. So you can just do a one-time share of the list. So that's a neat option as well. Now, the other thing I was very surprised to find in these lists is the ability to sort by time and date stamp, which I think could be very helpful. So like the last thing you added to the list, you could sort it that way. Another neat thing, which I thought was kind of cool in the shopping list category, is you can sort by item type. So our A-lady is smart enough, has a built-in system so that she can go, okay, eggs and milk and cheese all go into the same category on the list. All the bread and carbohydrates or something maybe go into another category on the list. And that can maybe potentially help you when you're walking through the grocery store to kind of itemize and go, instead of having to scroll up and down, that was item number 40 down on the list and verse number 2. It can automatically kind of categorize them for you, which may aid you in the shopping experience. So anyway, that's a real quick crash course of shopping list. This feature has truly matured a lot over time, and I think you'll really, really enjoy it. It's a very versatile tool. All right, well, that will wrap up our episode for this week. If you have any thoughts or suggestions on a future episode, feel free to reach out to us at Echo. This is a new email address, by the way, guys. ecotipspodcast@cert, C-E-R-T, Dr. DOCTOR.com. And just reach out, put in the subject line if you can, something about the Echo Tips podcast, trying to reach Dave, and that way it will find its way to me. Now, admittedly, I mentioned earlier we may be changing some things with the show, maybe changing some of the jingles. We may change our format at times. I've been thinking about some maybe revisiting, like creating a fundamentals segment or series that we do periodically, like go back and dust something off like this list feature. So I've been thinking about maybe doing that, but I'm open to other suggestions as well. We did a rapid fire roundup one day where I crammed in 5 or 10 different things at once. We've done omnibus episodes. So I'm just open to all sorts of suggestions, especially if you have input about the cover art or about the jingles or anything you'd you're curious about. We'd love to hear that as well. Now, once again, that's at ecotipspodcast podcast@certdoctor.com. And we'll probably try and work in some social media stuff too as well. But for right now, if you're trying to reach me personally, you probably look it up on any of the major Twitter, Mastodon. I just set up a Blue Sky account, and in all those, my handle is CertDoctor, just like the website I gave to you earlier, CERT Doctor, DOCTOR, and you just mention me on any one of those, and it will find its way to me. And we might open up an account on some of these outlets here in the future for the podcast. Well, anyway, over these past 7 years, I really appreciate your listenership, and we're about to start a new year, our next episode. But until then, it's time to turn the ears on your Echo back on. Start practicing some of the many, many things you've learned. I'm David Ward for the New Vision program. And as always, we do thank you for listening.
This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a non-profit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. And we thank you for listening. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision.